What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let's talk about this. So Daryl Strawberry. Daryl Strawberry, of course, former Major League Baseball player. And unfortunately, in today's world, he's known more for his off-the-field troubles with substance abuse and mental health issues rather than and health issues rather than what he contributed on the field. Although I believe he won a World Series with the Yankees, at the same time, you look at the fact that by the time he was 29 years old, his career, which at that time primarily had been with the Mets, I think he had 1 year with the Dodgers that was an all-star level. When he was 29 years old, he had 280 career home runs. And at that time, 1991, that was a Hall of Fame career. Like, to hit that many home runs in your 20s, you expect to hit at least another, if you're healthy, 150 in your 30s. So he was well on pace for something around a 450 home run career, right? Maybe even 500 if everything went right. But he didn't. Everything went wrong. And for the rest of the 90s, he only hit less than, I think, 60 home runs for the rest of his career. Injuries, suspensions, so many different things went wrong. Colon cancer. But in 1994, he was a teammate of Barry Bonds, which that season ended prematurely because of work stoppage. Daryl Strawberry only hit 4 home runs that season. Barry Bonds actually hit 37. The season ended August 12th. So Barry Bonds may have been robbed of a 45 to 50 home run season. Daryl Strawberry recently was on the All the Smoke podcast. And he talked about how Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player that he had ever seen. And he talked about how Barry Bonds' issues with the media are misunderstood by most people.
You got a chance to play 1 year with Barry.
Yes.
How was that?
Barry's the greatest player I ever seen. I saw Barry when he first came out with the Pirates. Never seen nobody like that. I was like, wow. Who's this guy, a little skinny kid they got Pittsburgh? Mm-hmm. He turns a 95 mile per hour fastball, Doc Gooden around, hit it out of the ballpark. I said, man, he's special. Then I saw him play. I was like, there's nobody like that. And I mean nobody. I don't care how many players have played this game. There's never been a player like Barry Bonds.
Like Barry Bonds.
Never. Boy can do everything good. And he'll let you know it, which was great, because I know and understand why he was like that. And, the media didn't know and understand why he was like that. But it was like that because they treated his father bad. And his father was a great player. And he never got the credit for, the kind of player he was. I mean, this is hard what we're doing, out there on the ball field and trying to be a complete player. And that's what Bobby Bonds was, and that's what Barry Bonds was. Barry took right after his father, being a complete player, playing the game of baseball. I have never seen nobody ever that good.
Yeah, and most of his peers felt the same way. I remember the 90s. If you looked at who Major League Baseball was marketing at that time, in the early 90s, it was like Jose Canseco. And then for most of the rest of the 90s, they were trying to market a guy like Ken Griffey Jr., and then briefly, toward the end of his career when he started hitting all those home runs, Mark McGwire. Those are the guys that were trying to market. Barry Bonds, for whatever reason, always kind of, I'm not saying he was never featured in commercials, but he just wasn't that Madison Avenue marquee guy, and you always wondered why. He's not not sound, Paul's done, but he's not a bad looking dude, right? And he's, that kind of matters. I mean, if a nigga look like Tyrone Hill, it does kind of take away from his appeal, you know what I'm saying, no matter how good he is. And his talent was unbelievable. But, if you looked at who was the most popular with the media in the 90s, you would have thought Ken Griffey Jr. was the best. But everybody knew who the best player was. It was Barry Bonds. And this is way before any allegations of steroids. And it's been said before. Even if you chop off the last 10 years of Barry Bonds' career, if you just take away 97 and 2007, you just saw it off. 86 to 96 is still enough for a Hall of Fame career. Not GOAT level, but still enough. It's still enough for a Hall of Fame career. That's how fucking amazing this dude was. And like Daryl Strawberry says, he did everything good. He's the best hitter I've ever seen. Even before steroids, he was hitting for power. He won a home run title in 93 when he was about 200 pounds. Okay? Hit 46 home runs. I believe he hit 40. I think he hit 42 home runs in 1997, 40 home runs in 1996. He would have hit probably 45 to 50 home runs in 94 had the season not stopped, because of the strike. So he'd already been displaying power. This myth that somehow he just ballooned and gained all this muscle in 1 year is just it's poppycock. Look, he came into the majors as a skinny kid in 86, right? 176 pounds, right? But by 1991, he was already 195 pounds. By 1993, he was already 205 pounds. By 1997, Bonds was already 210 pounds. He was already getting bigger. Now, did he do something funny in 99, 2000 when he got up to like 230, 240? Maybe. I don't know. It's not been proven. Probably. But, people don't seem to give a fuck about whether or not LeBron does stuff. So why pick and choose? Because the media didn't like him, just like they didn't like his father. And the main reason why they didn't like Barry Bonds is because he was arrogant, smart aleck in their mind. I'm gonna tell you something. If you take a look at something, do you notice that the media despises intelligent black men? You ever notice that? Oh, they'll love a John Morant all day. They'll love a Kevin Durant all day, a mama's boy. But a guy who is intelligent, like a Jaylen Brown, who's smarter than they are, who corrects them when they say things incorrectly, they can't stand that shit. Not from a mere nigga. And that's why Jaylen Brown gets so much bad publicity, as if he's a criminal. And the man's a goddamn genius. Barry Bonds has forgotten more baseball than some of these so-called pundits who haven't fucking been on a field in their lives know. Think he really respects their opinion? Some fat-ass Jerry Krause clone talking baseball? Come on, man. They did his father dirty. They downplayed his accomplishments. And another thing, too, about Barry Bonds is that when he first came into the majors, he was actually kind of friendly to the media. And it screwed him over. They misquoted him all the time. And they still try to make him out to be the bad guy. So he said, screw it. Now, he has said in hindsight, maybe I should have played, you know what I'm saying, a little nicer with them. Maybe. Because I do think it bothers him that he's not in the Hall of Fame. And I think it would bother anybody of his caliber. You know, another guy they didn't like either, and I'm not saying that's the reason why he wasn't never reinstated, but another guy they didn't particularly care for was Pete Rose. And, you know, Pete Rose used to do things that pissed off local Cincinnati media, like hang around black players. Did y'all know that? He socialized with them. And Marge shot her racist ass. Some people in the media, some of his advisors tell him, man, you need to stop hanging around these black players. And he's like, why? They're my friends. I'm not doing that. And, you know, I'm just saying, people act like race doesn't matter, bro. And I'm sorry. When I read the history of this country, race matters in almost everything, even if it's just, even if it's a smaller issue. It matters in almost everything. But anyway, it's not the be all end all, or as LeBron James puts it, the A all be all. Man, that's all I got to say about it, man. Salute to Daryl Strawberry for showing love to the great Barry Bonds.